Man, 2024 really is the year of the sequel, isn't it? But the question you gotta ask with any sequel, especially one that took 36 years to happen, is can it recapture the magic of the original? Well, the answer with Beetlejuice 2 is kinda. The plot is that Lydia Dietz, the goth girl from the original, is all grown up, and she's the host of one of those ghost hunter TV shows. When her father dies, she goes home to Winter River for the funeral and to reconnect with her estranged daughter Astrid. When Astrid is whisked into the afterlife, Lydia reluctantly makes a deal with Beetlejuice to get her back. Okay, so right off the bat, I'll give credit where credit's due. Leaving Gina Davis and Alec Baldwin's characters out of this movie was a great idea. Even ignoring Baldwin's legal troubles, they're just way too old to play their ghost selves. It's a little hand-wavy, but it's all we need to excuse their absence. Likewise, having Lydia's dad die in between films is a good move since, well, let's just say Jeffrey Jones isn't going to be starring in a lot of movies anytime soon because, ew. They did find a way to keep his character in the movie without paying him a dime, which I really appreciate, but honestly, they should have just cut Lydia's parents completely and focused on Lydia, Astrid, and Beetlejuice and saved us the bloat. On the plus side, again, though, Michael Keaton manages to bring a lot of his old manic energy as Beetlejuice in spite of how much time has passed. The dude knows this character inside and out, and he really brought the goods. And Jenna Ortega brings a lot of nuance to her performance that elevates the part. She has a guarded vulnerability that is really endearing. After that, though, well, the movie's kind of hit or miss. For instance, though Keaton definitely knows his part, Winona Ryder as Lydia is a dud. She's a decent enough actress, but this isn't the Lydia we knew in the original. Instead of the somber, confident person we used to know, now she's a neurotic pushover who lets other people manipulate her and never seems to notice it's happening. Ryder is basically doing a bargain basement, dumber version of the mom from Stranger Things. And I know they wanted to evolve the character, but there's a difference between evolution and a totally new person. And the changes in personality are undercut by the fact that she has the same clothes and hair she had 3 decades ago. I don't know about you, but I got a new look since 1988. If you're going to evolve the character, at least get her a new barber. And she never seems to understand why her daughter is a morose, depressive, obsessed with death. I'm like, that was your whole thing, and you wonder where she gets it? Do you not remember the first half of your life? And speaking of her daughter, okay, I know a lot of people love Jenna Ortega in Wednesday, and she does a good job as Astrid, but the writing did not match her acting ability. I know they wanted a catalyst for Beetlejuice's return and an arc for Lydia, but her part was all over the map. One minute she's a smart, acerbic young woman. The next she's a wide-eyed idiot who just rolls with the dumbest suggestions I've ever seen to forward the plot. Maybe I'm misremembering what it was like to be a teenager, but I'd like to think I wasn't schizophrenic. It's almost like the screenwriters, none of whom were involved in the original, were each given a section of the plot. And they wrote it and never had meetings on how to blend everything together into a singular vision. Some parts are overly saccharine, others are goofy, and others are sheer time-wasting insanity that felt more like filler than a necessary part of the movie. Scenes that could have been plot movers drag on so much longer than they need to the point that the new version of the Day-O music possession scene thingy is now redone to the tune of MacArthur Park, a notoriously long and boring song. And heaven help me, but they do the entire thing. And by the time that's over, the finale was so rushed, it was like they realized they had 10 minutes to get out before they lost their deposit on the room. Where the music number in the original was in an eerie setting and punctuated by creepy visuals, the most we get here is a literal wet cake in a boring church and some gels on the lights. It was just so bland. Tim Burton in his early years developed such amazing looks for his movies. His sets were always wonders to behold, incorporating unusual color combinations, crooked lines, outsized elements, and amazing lighting and camera work to accentuate the weird. And while there's about 3 of those incredible sets here, the rest of the movie is just ordinary stuff shot in a bland way. The biggest wink you get to the oddness of those situations is a green or blue gel over the stage lights. There isn't anything all that interesting to look at for most of the movie, and it felt like there were two different directors. One who understood the assignment, and an understudy with a quarter of the budget and a career of doing children's plays for public theater with a Danny Elfman score on autopilot. You can really tell when the lack of creativity with the sets and direction bled over into the actors' performances, too. Most of them are either cranked to 11 or turned down to 5. Catherine O'Hara acted like she was getting paid by how many viewers she could make walk out of the theater. And Monica Bellucci, how was she this boring? She was so bland as the main villain, I kept forgetting she was in the thing. And Willem Dafoe had exactly one note to play, and that note got old fast. And I'm not even going to get into the Remember Berries because there are too many to name, but I do have to ask one question. Why would they sing Banana Boat at Charles Dietz's funeral? The song that played during the single worst moment of his life? You couldn't have done Jumping the Line, the song from the finale of the first movie where everyone was happy. Look, it's certainly not a bad movie, and I did laugh a lot, but does it recapture the old magic? I'd say 50-50. It's worth watching if you like the original, but it's basically the Ghostbusters 2 of this franchise. Pretty fun, but less charming and less interesting. Chop out about 20 minutes of bloat, crank up the old Burton charm, give us something more interesting to look at, and you really got something. But this, other than money, I have to ask, why? But those are just my thoughts. What did you guys think? I mean, am I underplaying it, overplaying it? Am I being too harsh? Just let me know in the comments below. Like I said, I think it's a lot of fun. It's just not that interesting. But let me know what you thought. If you want more of these reviews, like and subscribe. Until next time, happy viewing!